Imagine this. The stress from your day doesn't disappear. It follows you into the bedroom. And the real question is, does sex truly help us release stress? Or does it sometimes quietly hide what's really going on? Stay with me until the end, because what we're about to talk about may completely change how you see intimacy in your relationship. Sex is often described as a natural stress reliever, and biologically that's true. During intimacy, the body releases endorphins and oxytocin, while cortisol, the stress hormone, drops. Muscles relax, breathing slows, and for a moment, the nervous system feels safe again. On a physical level, everything seems to work perfectly. The problem begins when sex stops being an expression of connection and becomes the only way we know how to deal with emotions we don't fully understand or allow ourselves to feel. Because stress isn't just about being tired. It's about unspoken resentment, fear of rejection, pressure to be enough, and the quiet anxiety of emotional distance. Sometimes it feels easier to reach for physical closeness than to sit down and say, "I'm struggling. I feel unseen." Or, "I'm afraid we're drifting apart." In those moments, sex can act like a bandage. It soothes the pain temporarily, but doesn't heal the wound underneath. So when does sex truly help regulate stress? It helps when it's an addition to emotional intimacy, not a replacement for it. When closeness happens because you want to meet each other emotionally, not escape a difficult conversation. In healthy relationships, sex supports emotional regulation, but it never replaces communication, empathy, or trust. It becomes a space of safety, not a coping mechanism used at someone's expense. And when does sex start masking the real problem? When the relief it brings fades quickly. When tension returns almost immediately. When intimacy appears mainly after arguments, but the conflict itself is never truly resolved. Or when sex becomes a way to keep your partner close, prove your worth, or avoid emotional vulnerability. At that point, sex stops being about connection and turns into a survival strategy. It's also important to understand that people respond to stress very differently. For some, stress increases sexual desire. For others, it completely shuts it down. Neither response is wrong. The damage happens when we take our partner's reaction personally. If they don't want sex, they don't love me. Or, if they want sex, they're ignoring my pain. These misunderstandings quietly erode intimacy over time. If you're starting to notice that sex in your life is being used more to silence emotions than to share them, that's not something to feel ashamed of. It's information. A signal that there's a deeper need asking to be acknowledged for safety, closeness, reassurance, or emotional presence. Sex can be a beautiful language of love, but it should never be the only language we use to talk about what we feel. If this topic resonated with you, stay with us on Decode Love. Subscribe to the channel if you want to better understand yourself, your relationships, and the emotional dynamics that shape intimacy, especially the ones no one talks about out loud. Because love isn't just chemistry, it's awareness.